All right. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. I'm going to give another minute or so for people to jump on. I know people are beginning to jump on. This is not going to be long. This is not class. This is going to be about a 20-minute, 30 at best, just a little conversation to whet your appetite. And so I'm going to give it another few minutes and then we will go. All right. How many you can talk to?
14.
Okay, good. Good. All right. So I'm waiting for you guys to jump on. And so very good. I see people jumping on. Give it another few minutes and then... Excellent. And so let me get that out the way. I don't want that. All right, very good. I hope you're well. Hope you had a great day. Hope you're well tonight. Good evening. Y'all are saying hi to me. Good evening, y'all. Good evening. Good evening. Good to see y'all. Good evening. So I'm just going to give another minute, let people jump on, and then we will get started. Okay, so good evening, Facebook. Good evening, YouTube. If you know somebody that's taking class tomorrow night, would you get the word out? Would you just kind of share with them real quick? Say, hey, Bishop's on. I tried to push it between yesterday and today. Can you just say, hey, Bishop's on? And that way people know. But good evening to everybody jumping on. Good evening. So in another maybe 60 seconds, I'm going to start, okay, because I have another meeting tonight. So I want to do this, and then I have to get off. And again, don't want to be on long. And so just want to, by 7:30, really want to be off. But I appreciate y'all jumping on. And so good evening. Thank y'all for saying hi to me. Good evening. Y'all interacting already. Good evening. Welcome. So I'm glad that y'all are joining. Excelente. It's all right. Very good. So when that clock, when we hit 7:05, we're going to roll. Okay, we're going to roll. Good evening. Y'all are saying good evening to your family too. That's what's up. Good evening. All right, excellent. All right, well, it's 7:05, so let's get started. And so I'm glad that you guys jumped on to just get a little taste. And so I'm glad that you're on with me tonight. And I'm real excited about class tomorrow night. This master class, man, is really good. I know I say that about everything and it's all good, but I'm excited about this. This is going to be really good. As I was putting the finishes touches on last week, I was like, man, when I really just went through it and saw what we have and what we're going to cover, it's really going to be good. It's going to help you so much. I'm going to just whet your appetite, give you a couple things in a few minutes, but it's going to be really good. And I'm excited. We got good numbers, man. And there's several states from the north, the south, out west, here in the east. So, people are registered, and of course, a variety of our people, which I'm happy about. I'm happy to see I'm happy to see people that are getting on and joining, or that are signing up to take this class, and that it's our people. I want other people, but I would never want other people at the expense of our people. So I'm excited that that's taking place. And I'm telling you, this class is going to be so good. It's going to be really helpful. This master class is all about God. This is an assignment for me. We said in January, God was giving assignments to people. And back in January, the Lord told me, I remember I was in bed, getting out of bed, and the Lord said, you need to do a master class on showing people how to go from revelation to manifestation, because he said a lot of people are going to hear my voice, but they're not going to know where to start to bring what I gave them to pass, or they're going to start wrong. And so, I said, okay. And as I began to research and began to kind of just get some things on paper, now I understand why God wants this class. And so just like you have assignments that you have to bring to pass, this is one of a variety of assignments for me that I have to bring to pass. And this just didn't happen. There's a process that I had to go through to get this class from revelation to manifestation. And tomorrow night, that's what we're going to walk through. And it's going to so empower you, so equip you. I'm so excited. You're going to be fired up when we're done. I promise you. Tomorrow night, you're going to be fired up when we're done. And I can't wait. When we're done, you're going to be on this mission. I promise you, this mission and this motive to go ahead and start working on what God called you to do. And you're going to be excited because you're going to know that you're doing it right. That's the thing. So many people don't start right. And if you don't start right, you don't finish right. And so really, man, I'm so excited. I can't wait. Now, I'm going to give you some stuff, but let's kind of talk about what you need to bring. Okay, so tomorrow evening you need to be ready. You need to have something to write with or type with. Okay, so try to have something next to you outside of just being on your phone or outside of being on your your computer or whatever. Have something with you, because I'm going to give you, it's almost a 6-page handout. That's how much stuff I have to cover. Okay, it's almost a 6-page handout, and that's not counting stuff I'm bringing up on the screen. I'm giving you some things to fill in the blanks on, but I'm also bringing up some other stuff on the screen that is not in the handout. So you need to maybe have your phone ready to take pictures or whatever. You need to have that ready, because you're going to be writing and taking pictures at the same time, or whatever the case is. So you're going to receive a handout tomorrow evening, somewhere around 6 o'clock, somewhere around then. A handout's going to be sent to you, and it's going to be sent to the email. Please listen carefully so we don't have any issues. The email that you registered for class with. Because this is a webinar, you did it with your Zoom email. So it's not, if you have another email that you use regularly, please remember, this handout is coming to the email that you registered for class with. Now, again, if you know other people are taking this class, because the numbers on right now between Facebook and YouTube don't represent our numbers for class. So if there's somebody else that you know is taking it, but you don't see them on, shoot them a text real quick or something. Say, hey, Bishop's on giving a pre-discussion about the class tomorrow night. Now, by the time they get on, we might be over. But so you're going to receive a handout. And so get ready. Just remember, it's going to go to the email that you have registered for class with. So right around 6 o'clock or so, look for your check your email, get your handout, and you're going to be able to download it. We're sending it to you in a way where you can type. You can type on it. Now, if you want to print it out and fill it in, whatever floats your boat. But I want you to have that, something to write with. Now, if you're going to type it, you're going to download it and type it, I want you to turn around and have something else you can write with or whatever, because I'm telling you, with the stuff I'm going to give you, God's going to give you, you're going to get nuggets of wisdom that the Holy Ghost is going to breathe on you through. So you need to be ready to get revelation behind what I'm saying tomorrow night. And so be really mindful for that. So bring something to type with or write with, and bring something where you can take pictures of what's coming up on the screen, because there's just as many notes as I'm giving you, the handout. There's also as much stuff that I'm putting up on the screen. I didn't include all of that in one, because it would have been like a 15-page document. Didn't want to do that. Okay. Now, so that's why I broke that up, but I gave you specific things in the handout that you're going to write, because what you write and cover, it gets in you more, okay? You retain to a certain level when you hear something. You retain it at another level when you write it down. You retain it even more when you regurgitate it back. And so we're going to talk about some of that. But so that's what we're going to do. So that's real important, number one. Don't forget to check your email. Otherwise, when I come on, I'm going to say it again, you're going to be scrambling, okay? Now, also, tomorrow night's material is not the type that you can multitask and do something else with. If you've taken any of my master classes, you do not want to multitask. You don't want to be in the kitchen cooking. You don't want to be doing something else, because you are going to miss revelation. I promise you that. You're going to miss revelation. So do not multitask tomorrow night. Get yourself settled. Get everything done by 7 and jump on. And you can't jump on late, because I'm not waiting for you, because we have a lot to cover. We're probably going to be more than 2 hours. Now, it's not going to be forever, but whether it's 2.5 hours or 3 hours, because I'm going to take some Q&A at the end, but it's going to take me probably a few hours to get through the material, because that's how robust and in-depth. What I'm going to give you, you're going to get your money and a whole lot more. It's going to be worth so much more, okay? So get on early, okay? Now, also remember, and I said this a little bit, you should be treating this as if you were at the church. Okay, at the church, meaning, number one, you're focused. You wouldn't be thinking about dinner at the church. You wouldn't be thinking about other stuff. You wouldn't be looking at other stuff. If you were in a classroom with me, you would be focused. So treat it like that. But also, you should not be having a party and you got 2 or 3 people watching off of what you paid for. That's not fair to you, and it's not fair to me or anybody else. A lot of people have honored. Multiple people are taking the class and everybody paid for it. So I don't want you to turn around and one person pays for it and 3 people, are doing it. Don't do that. That's not fair to you, and that's not fair to me. And if we were at the church, you wouldn't do that. If as a husband or wife you were taking class, both of you would have to pay. It wouldn't be one paid and both of you come in. So honor system wise, make sure you do that. Okay, make sure you and everybody else is doing that. Now, What I want to do in in a little bit of time left that we have, because man, it's going to be so good. I just want to whet your appetite, okay? Want to whet your appetite about what we're going to cover tomorrow. And maybe you're watching and you're on the fence. You're up in the air whether you're going to take it. Because again, a lot of people are registered, man, and it's great. It's great. And for me to see people registering locally and non-locally and to see people hungry is great. Because again, this is all about God gave you an assignment or assignments in January. Now, how do you ensure that you bring it to pass? How do you ensure that? That's what this class, GPS MasterClass, is all about, and it's entitled Follow the Map. The map is an acronym that we're going to cover tomorrow night that is really going to make sense to you. You cannot get to your destination, especially if you don't know where you're going, without a map. So tomorrow night is about really discovering what that map is. But here's what I want you to understand. Couple different things, okay? Number one, if you're going to accomplish something, you have to have an action plan. You have to have an action plan. And most people don't have an action plan. They just kind of do whatever they want to do, and they don't have an action plan. And so that's the reason most people don't succeed with goals. They don't succeed with their goals because they don't have an action plan. This is a very interesting statistic. And that is, and again, you don't need to write this down. Just listen tonight. We're going to cover so much tomorrow night. Just listen and ingest this and let it whet your appetite for class tomorrow. There's an interesting statistic that only about 42% of people will complete their goals. Only about 42%. Under 50%. 42% of everybody that has goals, only 42% of those people out of 100% will complete it. That's low. That's low. And here's why. Here's why. Because what happens is some people go as far as writing stuff down and they stop. They stop there. More than 50% of people, they will write something down and then they stop. And that's it. So they write it down, but then they do nothing with it. Because it's not about writing it down. It's about having an action plan that prompts you on what you need to do here and there. What do I need to do first, second, third? There's a lot to that. So many people, they turn around and they don't write anything down. But you'll have people, they'll write it down, but they won't do anything with it. So as a result, only 42% of people who have any type of goal accomplish it. The objective portion this year is for you not to be in that mix, for you to really be one of the 42 that completes it. Because when you think about it too, this is about sovereign assignments. This is about what God talked to you about in January and you completing it before the end of the year, or you're well underway. What we don't want to have happen is at the end of the year, you haven't even gotten around to taking steps. You haven't even gotten around to do anything. That we don't want that to happen. Now, I want you to get this, okay? I want you to get this. So many people, when they hear from God, what they begin to do is they want to turn around and they want to just begin to try manifesting what God said. Your first step, catch this, we're going to look at this tomorrow night, is not trying to manifest what God said. That is not your first step. And so many people go, okay, this is what God told me to do. And they think, all right, let me start manifesting. No. That seems logical, but that is not correct. Your first step is not trying to manifest what God said. There is something very specific that you need to do before you start trying to manifest what God said. And we're going to kind of look at that in depth tomorrow night. Now, here's what I want you to understand, because you got to get an action plan. But before you start developing an action plan, there's questions that you need to be asking yourself. There's planning questions that needs to be asked, and we're going to kind of look at that, okay? There's planning questions, and people don't know how to ask the right questions, and this is important. So you can't come up with an action plan if you don't ask yourself the right questions. So many times people, they just want to go manifest what God said. So they're going to go try to do it. That is a mistake, because before you take any steps, you need an action plan. Without an action plan, you're not going to wind up doing what you need to do. But before you have an action plan, you need to turn around and ask yourself some very specific questions. And people never do this. Most people don't do this. They don't ask themselves questions. And we're going to go over tomorrow night the very specific questions that you need to ask yourself to help you formulate the action plan. And that's very, very important. Okay. So don't, if you started turning around and you heard what God said in January, now you're trying to make it happen. No, 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 no. Do not try to manifest what God said without an action plan. And do not come up with an action plan until you ask yourself some very specific questions. But now watch this. Then you have to turn around and understand that there's action plans for the action plan. Oh, I can't wait to get to that. Your action plan has to have action plans. This is why people don't succeed, because they don't understand these dynamics. They don't understand that before you can bring anything to pass, you need an action plan. The Bible talks about sitting down and counting the cost to make sure you can complete it. This is scriptural. You need an action plan. But before you can have an action plan, you have to ask yourself some very specific questions to help you begin to formulate the right action plan. But then your action plan needs action plan. You have to have action plans for your action plan. Without action plans for your action plan is not going to be effective. What are you talking about, Bishop? We'll talk about it in class tomorrow. This is just to whet your appetite. But one of the things we're going to look at, and I'm just going to kind of hit it, but I'm really going to spend some time on it tomorrow, is if you're going to have an effective action plan, let me say it this way. Before you take action, okay, I'm going to get a question in a second, okay? So we'll do Q&A in a few minutes, okay? I see your question. Christian, I need you to help me with questions. Listen to me now. Before you turn around and finalize your action plan, you need to do something called a 30-day discipline. This point's worth the class. It's worth more than $25. You need to do something called a 30-day discipline. This is one of the big reasons why people's plans don't come to pass, because they don't implement a 30-day discipline. And tomorrow night, we're going to talk about it, man. It's a very awesome thing. And so and it's for a specific reason. This 30-day discipline, there's very specific reasons why you need to take 30 days. So you got your action plan, but before you move on it, you need to take 30 days and have this discipline before you ever take a step for your action plan. Failure to do that means you will most likely have an ineffective action plan. So we're going to cover that. We're going to cover that tomorrow night. And then check this out. This is very interesting, that your action plan has to have a very specific wiring. Your action plan has to have a very specific wiring. And so how many know you're wired a certain way? Your house is wired a certain way. Your car is wired a certain way. Your computer is wired a certain way. Your action plan has to have a very specific wiring. And most people never make sure they have the specific required wiring for the action plan, so their action plan never manifests. I'm telling you, man, this is worth it too. These nuggets I'm going to give you tomorrow are so worth it. So we're going to look at the specific wiring that every action plan requires. It's not that every action plan has a different wiring. No, every action plan needs a very specific wiring. And without it, that action plan is going to be ineffective and most likely is not going to come to pass. And so a part of this, I'm going to have you turn around and I'm going to have we're going to have some reflection time in the midst of the lesson. We're going to take a few minutes, a certain place in, and we're going to pause, and I'm going to have you turn around and answer some very specific things. So tomorrow's it's a working class, because not only are you going to be writing what you're hearing, you're going to be filling in blanks, writing what you're hearing, taking pictures of what comes up on the screen, but we're going to spend a reflection time at a certain point midway in the lesson for you to write some very specific things down. And so I need you to get ready for that. And then watch this now. Watch this. The last thing that I'm going to tell you is that you have to turn around and make up in your mind that you're ready to work. You're ready to work. Okay, you're ready to work. If you're not ready to work, you're not going to see your action plan come to pass. And here's why. Because the enemy's going to fight you. You know anything, but I think we said last night in service, any obedience that leads to a life-changing manifestation, the enemy's going to fight tooth and nail. And so for action plans, you got to come ready to work, because some of it is a work that's to take place in you and then work through you. And so you got to come ready to work. I hope you're not wasting your time tomorrow by just sitting in to hear what I have to say. Okay, but that's not what tomorrow's about. Tomorrow's about people that are serious about, I heard from God. I have these assignments, and watch, I got these goals that I need to do, and I need to turn around and really make sure that I'm on point of bringing this to pass. So you got to come tomorrow, man, ready to work. This is not about, I just want to hear Bishop teach, whatever. No, that's a mistake. This is about you making up in your mind that this is about me really bringing to pass what God has called me to do. I promise you, this class that you take tomorrow night with me, and if you haven't signed up, hopefully you'll take it, you are going to leave with a wealth, a plethora, there's a word, of information, revelation information. That's, my teaching, I drill it down to the applicable level that's going to help you absolutely fulfill what God has called you to. Now, I'm just whetting your appetite. I got so much in depth that I'm looking at. I got notes and notes and notes, pages of notes that I'm going to pour out tomorrow night, all to help you turn around and get where you need to be this year. This year, promise you, will be the one of, if not the most effective years of your life, because you're going to learn the map to turn around to bring things to pass. There is a map that everybody needs. And what I'm going to give you, these foundational principles, there's this map that you need. And again, without it, you're not going to bring it to pass. And here's why. Watch this. Here's why, one of many. Listen to this. For God is talking to me while I'm talking to y'all. For where you need to go, you have to adjust where you are. For where you need to go, you have to adjust where you are. You got to adjust. You got to adjust. Because watch, where God is telling you to go, it's not about telling you that you are. It's about the person you're to become. And you have to adjust. And the map helps you begin to think about and make those adjustments in your life. The greatest hindrance to what God has called you to do is you. And people fail to adjust. So people just go, okay, this is what God said. And you know this. It may be yourself or others. They're excited about what God said and, quarter of way through or whatever, they quit. They're done. They stop. And my prayer is that won't happen to you. That, man, this year, we're in March now. We're in March. You're going to blink and it's going to be the summer. You're going to blink again, it's going to be September. You're going to blink again, we're going to be pulling out Christmas decorations. My heart is that you will, this year, man, as we get into the summer, you're going to be well underway. You're going to be well underway. In the fall, man, going to be manifesting things. And you know this, and if you don't know, you will know this. When you start getting results, man, it is one of the greatest highs ever. When you start getting results and you start seeing things happen. And so I promise you, what are you going to do when what God put in you, what God put in your heart in January, because you now are following the map, you go from that revelation to manifestation. What are you going to do? You're going to be so fired up. You're going to be so excited because of seeing it go from being in you to out of you. But it's going to take a map. It's going to take a map. So hear me. I'm excited about tomorrow. I just want to take a few questions. I'm sorry about tomorrow. And I'm sorry about tomorrow. I'm excited about tomorrow. I don't know why I'm sorry. I'm not sorry about tomorrow. I'm excited about tomorrow. I'm looking at what people are writing. I'm excited about tomorrow, about teaching you. But I'm more excited about you receiving and learning and what it's going to do to you. But again, you got to come ready. Do not multitask. Do not mess around. Sit down somewhere in a quiet place so you can focus, because I'm going to give you nugget after nugget after nugget after nugget, and you're going to miss it. And you're going to miss it. Now, we also are going to make it, if you've taken any of my classes, you're going to have it for a week afterwards. You're going to have it for a week. So we're going to send it to you, and you're going to have it for a week to review. So don't worry about, if you miss something, you're going to have it for a week. But I need you to get the word out. It's not too late. People can register up until time class starts. It's not too late. Get the word out. I know you know several people that need this, okay? And so I need you to get the word out to other people that you know needs to take this. This class is for housewives. house husbands. This is for single parents, dual parents, entrepreneurs. This is for people that really want to be effective in their life. People that know God put stuff in their heart, but they're like, how do I bring it to pass? And people that don't want to waste time. They want to get things done. You're going to walk out tomorrow night having the map and with no excuse. And you're not even going to be an excuse maker. You're going to know, okay, I need to start here. I need to do this. I need to do this. And it's going to be very, very awesome. So let me turn around. Let's take some questions real quick with the time we have left. Okay. Questions we have. And so I'm trying to watch and see. Christian, you're going to have to help me. Okay.
The only one I see so far was someone said that they need help registering.
Yes.
They said they tried using their debit card and they said the enemy wouldn't allow them to use their card or debit card or on their PayPal.
So I know that Minister Pat, she was talking to me. She was trying to use, she was trying to do it, and she was having some challenges, and she just was doing something wrong. You don't have to have a PayPal account to do this. You just need a credit card. And so, you don't have to have a PayPal account. Now, if you're not careful, you can hit a button to establish a PayPal. PayPal is great, nothing wrong, but you should be able to turn around and use your credit card to turn around and pay for the class. Now, it could be something with your bank, and you need to be mindful of that and maybe check with that. But hopefully, you don't have the issue. I mean, we got a whole lot of people signed up, and everybody had to register the same way. So just either get somebody to help you or go back and check. I had to walk Minister back my mom through, and I had to do that. Okay, so hopefully for the one person, hopefully won't let me update my card information to make a purchase. So you have to, I'm not sure what we can do about that. Okay, there's nothing we can do. So you got to work it out. Ask somebody else to pay for the class for you, or whatever the case is, something to get you in. Okay, because that's the way we're doing it. That's the way, we're doing it through the system setup, because it's the only way we can handle the numbers that we normally get. So I hope that you can be a part of it. All right. Anybody else? Any other questions? Because we're winding down. And not that I'm expecting a lot of questions. I just want to make sure any questions that you have, do that real quick, because I'm running out of time quickly. Be on at 7 o'clock. Okay, we start at 7 o'clock sharp, and I got some things coming up. So when you get on, just watch, because some things are going to come up on a screen from, right as soon as a little bit after 7, bam, we're going to go. So you need to be ready. Don't be late, because you're going to miss stuff, and you don't want to miss it. It's going to be a great class tomorrow night. Promise you it's going to bless your life. Promise you. And you don't want to let others sit on this, okay? You want to let others. I mean, I got good numbers, so it's not a matter of let's get some more. Great for whoever's. I'm excited for all the people signed up, but I really don't want to leave people out, man, that need this. You would know people that I don't know. Talk to them. Show this to them tonight. You need to tell them, man, if you're trying to get stuff done for God this year, you're trying to get stuff done for your life this year, you need this. I promise you, 100%. No if, no and, no hoping, no I think. I promise you, this class is going to give you the tools and the nuggets you need in one night to get done everything this year. What would you pay for a session that guarantees you're going to get done what you need to get done this year? What would you pay to get tools that will make you most effective this year to bring to pass what God put in your heart? Well, it only costs you $25, but you're going to walk away with a plethora of information. Okay, so, all right. So, see what happens. Okay, love y'all so much, man. It's 7:30, so I want to get off. Love y'all. Any other questions you see, Christian? All right, so get the word out, man. Get some other people to register that could benefit. Now, if they're lazy, they don't want to work, don't say it to them. Leave them be. But people that man, they've been praying about, God, I need the answer. This is the answer. God, I need direction.
Somebody said that they logged on a little, I think not they logged on a little late, so they might have missed some things. And then she said, are we getting a guide?
Yeah, so you are gonna get a guide. So you can go back and watch this when we're done, okay? You can go back and watch it, but you're at 6 o'clock, I think around 6, it's gonna be sent to you. So you're gonna get something, so keep in mind. But you gotta come ready to work. I'm gonna bring stuff up on the screen that's not in what you're getting. Okay, a lot of stuff is coming up on the screen that's not in what you're getting. So you gotta be ready to take notes or whatever the case is. It's gonna be awesome, okay? So we got a little less than 24 hours, okay? And this time tomorrow, we're gonna be well into it. And it's going to be great. I cannot wait to share. So have a great night tonight. Get the word out, please. Share this with people. Tell them they can still register up until time class starts. They can register. So get the word out for people it can help them. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow night in our GPS Masterclass, going from revelation to manifestation. It's going to be great. All right. Love y'all, man. Have a good night. Get some rest. Be ready to work tomorrow. It's going to be good. See you tomorrow night in Masterclass.